All right, all right, all right. Welcome back. This is Lois Kofi with another episode of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise, my podcast show. I'm so excited here today to have another repeat offender, a guest that was on for before. And I wanted to bring him back because he had so much nuggets, so much wisdom that I wanted to make sure that you guys got to pull out some more so that you can apply it in your lives to being and becoming your best self. So Jess, I'm going to give a little bit of an intro and then I want you to take it from there. But you are an international best-selling author, the owner of MNU Digital. You're basically a digital marketing expert guru. You've got many hats. You're also an amazing father of 4 amazing kids, obviously a husband in there as well. And you've done so much for your community. And I've met you through BNI. You're phenomenal at networking and building relationships. So I'd love for you to dive in and tell, how did you get where you are today? You know, why do you do what you do? What brought you here?
Well, thank you. I guess for me, a lot of it was just I wanted to be my own boss ever since I was a little kid. I've kind of always thought, I should be the leader, and I really wanted to get some of my time back and be able to work hard, create extra income that could flow whether I'm working or not. And that's kind of why I got going, and I still work hard just because I found so much passion in it. But it's nice to know that there's different income sources that can come from different places, and hard work can pay off. And now with the kids, it's just like I want to be a good example for them.
Awesome. I know you're an expert at building relationships offline because that's how we met and how we connected. But now, in what I call this new world of coronavirus, virtual selling, virtual networking, what are your advice or your tips? Because I see you on LinkedIn, you're phenomenal at all that you do, and I'd love for you to share some tips on that too. But where does someone begin right now who maybe can't get out there face to face, belly to belly?
Yeah, I mean, social media is a powerful tool, and if you leverage it and work hard at it, you can be extremely successful with it. But it really gets down to like Lois said, is building relationships, and it's not much different offline. If you treat people with empathy, understanding, you reach out to them, you find things that are in common that you can relate to them about, and that's one nice thing, especially about LinkedIn, is you can go through and you kind of look through their work history, where they've worked. If you went to the same college, it's a great, it gets down to, introducing yourself to somebody, having a conversation and, thanking them for having that conversation, finding things in common to talk about and building that relationship. And a lot of that information is right in their LinkedIn profile. So you can see what schools they went to, what hobbies they have, what charities they do. All that stuff is right there in the profile. And that's how I got to talk to a billionaire one time on LinkedIn, was because I talked about his nonprofit. If I would have went to him saying, "Hey, let's do business" or something, that would have been, probably a big no. But because I said, "Hey, I see you have this charity, and I have a friend that has a similar charity. Can I introduce you two together?" And that opened the door to having an actual conversation. So if you can find ways to relate to that person and reach out on that, you can have all kinds of great conversations. It might be fly fishing. It doesn't matter. It's even better if it's not business. If you can get in there and talk about something that you both like, it makes a big difference.
What you're saying reminds me of that phrase that I always learned: be interested versus interesting. And I know on different platforms, and sometimes on LinkedIn, this still happens, where I'll get a sales pitch like right away by my stuff. But that happens more, I see, on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm not on TikTok. I don't know if you're on TikTok, but I do believe that LinkedIn is maybe a bit more professional. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, it is traditionally more business related. The problem is you need to be relatable, and if it's just 100% business 100% of the time, Yeah, and I think it should be like 97%. I mean, it's not really made for personal stuff, but you do need to be relatable, and people need to see that you're a real person. You're not some business robot, crunching numbers in the background. They need to see you as a person, and the way you do that is sometimes you take things that happen in your life and you relate them to business and how that affects your business, and if you had some tragedy in your life and it made you a stronger business person, well, then that's a good thing to bring up and mention to people, because they'll relate to that and they'll want to learn more about you. And then when they trust you and they like you, then it's much easier business conversations as well.
Absolutely. People they don't even necessarily buy what you do. They buy you, right? Your
Right.
brand, your authenticity, your messaging. And since you mentioned it, I'm curious, because I don't know that I've ever asked you this before, but can you think of what's the biggest obstacle or hurdle you've overcome in life? Because right now, so many people here in this 2020, I mean, what a year, right? When we all started and turned the calendar over on January 1st, we had no idea. Nobody saw this coming. And a lot of people are hurting. I just talked to another friend today who's filing bankruptcy, and their business is totally shut down, and they're having to start over and reinvent themselves. And I've been there. So it's always great to hear from other people. What is your biggest obstacle in business or in life that you've overcome?
Hmm. Wow, that's a deep question. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily just one thing, but it's been many things. Overcoming. A lot of it's just people that have different perceptions about what you should do with your life and who you should be, and then getting over I guess I think they call it imposter syndrome, but who am I? Even on LinkedIn, I have like 24,000 connections and very well networked and such, but then I can look at another person and go, wow, they got 300,000 connections, and who are you to be giving advice about LinkedIn when they're giving advice about LinkedIn? And so you kind of have this mental game that you have to realize that different people learn from different people, and I may be more relatable to certain people than that other LinkedIn expert out there. And there's different things like that, and there's been personal things that I've learned, like I don't know if you know the story about there was a cougar that grabbed a kid at Como Zoo. I don't know how many years ago.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, so I was there that day, and instantly, without thinking, I just turned my kid the stroller away so she couldn't see it. She was like 1 or 2 or something at the time, so this must be 12 years ago or something. But I just instantly just reacted, and I ran and sprinted and jumped into the cougar area, and then I tried to I was going to punch the cougar or something. I don't know what I was thinking, but luckily the kid's dad jumped up there too and got the kid off. And I was like, by that point, I was like a foot or two from the cougar, and I decided I didn't want to be there anymore since there was no kid there. And so I just jumped out of there, but it kind of made me realize that I'm kind of the fight person, not the flight person. You don't kind of know some of the stuff until it happens to you. And I guess I don't talk about it much, but it kind of really kind of clicked in my head. Like, if I'm willing to do, that for somebody else's kid, what am I willing to do for my own kids? And I kind of try to turn that into a business lesson, and how, getting on and making a cold call is easier than trying to go punch a cougar, So anyway, that's just kind of a personal story that kind of made a big impact in my brain.
I think there's another book in there. I think you need to write that book.
Could be a book, yeah, I suppose.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I saw the cover of you fighting a cougar and then comparing it to a cold call. I'm like, I'll buy it. I'll be your first order. That's amazing.
I've thought about it, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I don't want to take advantage of a bad situation. Luckily, the kid was fine. I mean, the kid just got a couple scratches. I think maybe I don't know if he even had to get stitches, but he definitely had some cuts on the back. So.
Well, and then there's just the trauma that goes with it. So you made me think of all sorts of other questions that I want to ask you. The first one that I really want to highlight, because this is kind of a big deal, because I'll be honest and transparent. I still am sitting at maybe about 4,000 LinkedIn connections. I've been more on playing on the Facebook space. So I've always had 5,000 and have to dump and add and dump and add. How did you get to 11,000? How long did it take you? Number one, how did you do it? Any quick professional relationship building tips in that component?
Yeah, it took to get to the first 10,000. It took about a year. In fact, my book is actually called Growth Hacking, which is kind of a type of thought process marketing, but strategically growing your business connections from 0 to 10,000 in 365 days. So that's what my book is about: is how to get to 10,000 connections within a year. But a lot of it is just consistency and reaching out to people. And there's little tricks you can do to get new connections. Like this is more of a new one, but on the LinkedIn app, there's a button you can hit called Find Nearby. So you have to navigate through it, hit My Connections, and then there's a little blue plus, and then hit Find Nearby. And you can actually connect everybody in the room via Bluetooth. So you can walk into a networking meeting and go, hey, everybody, get on your phone and go through these steps. And then you walk out with 20 to 30 connections. And that's one of my favorite things to do now. And that works really well. They also have a QR reader on there where you can just scan each other's phone, which is kind of cool. There's a new business card that's got an NFC chip that you can zap that my company's selling. So you can go right and hit a button and then go to their LinkedIn. So there's different things you can do when you're networking, but also when you're just using the platform. Liking and commenting on people's posts is good, but if you go to an influencer that you really like and want to follow, and they have 350 comments. This is just a dumb little trick, but if you go down and just like 50 comments, you'll get about 15 people that'll reach out to you and want to connect a lot of times.
Whoa, golden nugget alert. That was a golden nugget. I love that. That's so good. Well, in your book, first of all, where can they get your book? Just go to JessTiffany.com.
Yeah, you can go there or Amazon is where the two main places. Yeah. Okay,
cool. In your book, because you published it before COVID or after? I forget.
It was before, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I remember when it came out. So in full disclosure, I haven't read it, so bad Lois. I'm going to get it now. Okay, so thank you for being here. I'll be your next order, I promise.
All right, awesome.
In your book, did you have, because now we can't go to big networking events, at least not here in California where I'm at. I don't know if it's changed in the time that, and whenever people are watching this, because this will be also here for forever, but in those situations, what are your growth hacks for when you can't go to a networking event in person?
Yeah. Well, the easiest one is just find your ideal clients, your dream clients, the mentors that you want to connect to. So I should go back a little bit a step. Make sure your profile is looking fantastic, because you're going to have a much higher connection rate if you look the part. So make sure your profile has professional photography, nice images on the background. Get rid of that blue background. Make sure that looks nice. But then reach out to people. Find who's your dream clients, your ideal clients, the people you want to employ in the next 5 to 10 years based on your business plan. Your favorite authors, speakers, whatever, and target the people you want. Get it in the search. Find the people, and then send them a message. And usually the message I say is something like open to connect with other top, and then business professionals or business leaders or business thinkers. For some reason, when you go after influencers, business thinkers converted better than business professionals. I don't know. But anyway, and then you say, looking to learn, connect, or looking to learn, network, and hopefully collaborate in the future. Let me know how I can be of service, and then your name and your title, and something to that effect. That's the one I use because I like it. But basically, you want to find a way where you kind of relate to them. You want to tell them why you want to connect and the purpose of your connecting and kind of who you are. But don't sell them anything. Don't talk about sales. Nothing that makes them even think about sales. It's just about making a strong business connection and hopefully being able to collaborate in the future. And that's probably the easiest way to reach out. There's a new feature in groups, so you can go in and join groups. And when you're in a group, you can message anybody that's in that group without using your in-mails, because you only get 20 in-mails on the free version. So you can go into the group and actually message people. So if, I sent a message to Oprah one time just because I could. She didn't get back to me, but I was able to send a message to her. But that's, so anyway, but that's the type of things you can do, and you can reach pretty much anybody you can imagine.
Dream big. If you get her, tell her I want her on my podcast. Okay.
All right, I will. All right. Deal.
I love it. I love it. That's great. So we got some good stuff, and I've seen this. You tell me if this makes sense. I've seen it, and have admittedly played with it. If you have a free offer, or like for example, I have a podcast. Is it good or okay in your mind to say, "Hey, I see your new connection. We have friends in common, and I love your support. Do you listen to podcasts? Well, if you do, here's mine. I'd love your feedback."
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. Is that pushy? Is that over the top?
I usually don't do it on the first message,
Mm-hmm.
but I might do it on the thank you. And how I do it, I just put it in the footer like it's part of my ending. So it says Jess Tiffany, CEO and author, free cheat sheet, and I don't tell them about it. I don't mention it. I just have a link, and people just decide to click on it. And so there's no pressure. It's just, hey, thanks for connecting. I really appreciate it. I hope we can maybe chat in the future. Have a great day. Talk to you later. And then my name, what I do, and then a link to my free offer with nothing said, and a percentage of them download that. The other thing you can do is you do whatever, like a post about what you want to talk about, and then in the comments you say, oh, by the way, I have this LinkedIn free LinkedIn cheat sheet. That's the one I usually do, and mine is relevant to LinkedIn, so it's easier to sneak in there a little bit more often probably than most people's offers. But and I just throw it in the comments and I say, hey, I have this. If this adds extra value to what you read above. The big thing is you want your message and your free offer to be congruent if possible. So whatever you're talking about in your post needs to be, makes sense to be there. You don't want to go spam your link all over, everywhere. People don't appreciate that, but it is appropriate in certain cases.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Any other golden nuggets?
The other thing I forgot to mention is ask them if they want it. So after like 3 messages, a lot of times they'll say, oh, by the way, I have this free cheat sheet. Would you like a copy? Or would you like the link for it? And, like probably 50% of the time they say yes. And then you paste the link and then they go there and they get your offer. So if you ask permission, makes a huge difference.
I love it. I love it. No, I'm right there with you. So I've been doing some of the things right. Any other pearls of wisdom, kind of as we start wrapping it up, I have just one other question for you, and then we can also help people know about your free offer. But anything else that you haven't covered that you wish you would have known back in the day about digital marketing, about success, about LinkedIn, anything?
Get a coach. It's so valuable. Just that they've already been there, they've done it, they tried it. They can save you so much time. And I did years. I just struggled with watching YouTube videos and reading stuff online and reading business books, and that all helped, and it helped me grow. But really, when I humbled myself and said, okay, I don't know everything, I need help, and went to somebody and paid them money. But that made a huge difference. They were able to keep me accountable, walk me step by step, and help me learn stuff. Now they weren't LinkedIn experts, but they were business experts, and they were able to help me make sure that I was moving the right needles at the right time and getting the right things done at the right time and get things moving in the positive direction and gain momentum. That's huge. You got to have momentum.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The big mo. You're preaching to the choir. I'm not just saying that. And I know you're not just saying that because we are also both coaches. I have 3 coaches right now, not 1, not 2, but 3. I did seek out experts in podcasting, and my sales coach is actually the one who said, Lois, go do it. Go do a podcast. What are you waiting for? And if I hadn't had that one, I wouldn't have gotten this one, and I wouldn't be here with you right now. So just face your fears, guys. No one succeeds alone. Find that best coach or expert. And speaking of experts and your free gift, I'd love for you to explain that now. And then I just have one more closing question for you. I'm going to go ahead and post it here on the screen, but I will also share it in the podcast notes as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have a free LinkedIn marketing cheat sheet. Basically, it just has a lot of tips on there, a few different messages, a couple different ideas of how to maximize your LinkedIn, get things moving faster for you. It's just a really great tool. We get tons of great feedback on it, and it does. It's an opt-in type deal, so you get on my list. But then we send you more tips and things like that, and you can always jump off if you don't want the additional tips. So it's a low commitment, but we get great information to you, and hopefully we can help you grow your business.
Love it. And I'm going to throw up your website here too one more time, JessTiffany.com.
Yeah, yep, and I do a lot of training of companies, sales teams, stuff like that. So that's where the JessTiffany.com comes in real well for the booking speaker opportunities. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much. I do have one more question, and
yes.
I didn't even prep you on this one at all, because I like to kind of shock people and get their real authentic answer without you having to think too much about it. But when you hear the phrase healthy and wealthy and wise, Jess, because that's the name of this podcast. It was inspired by my own health journey, my own wealth journey, and I lost both of them. And I learned so much. So it has a lot of meaning to me. And I'd love to close out and hear when you hear that phrase, what does that mean to you?
Well, that's a big thing. So mine is more of a tale of caution. I didn't take it seriously when my doctor said, "Hey, you're pre-diabetic," and different things like that. And now I have to poke myself with needles every day, and I have a needle phobia. I literally have had seizures when I see a needle coming towards me before when I was younger. So it was a very challenging thing to get through, which now I can do it. But there's literally still some nights I sit there for 20 minutes going, "Oh, I got to stab myself," And so but if you need the whole package. You need to have your health with your wealth. Otherwise, if I don't, I'm moving in the right direction. But if I don't continue that direction, I might not have an extra 10 or 15 or 20 years with my kids, and then any wealth that I've created is kind of going to be useless anyway. To me, anyway, it might be good for the kids, but you really need both. You need the health and the wealth, and I think obviously the wisdom is knowing that you need both and doing the work it takes to get both. I think would be a very wise decision. Don't do what I did and let it go until it's where you gotta change. Start getting ahead of the curve before you need to.
Absolutely. That's such a powerful story. Again, another personal item about you that I didn't know. So I really, really appreciate your authenticity. Again, thanks guys for tuning in. This is what Healthy and Wealthy and Wise is all about. If you like this show, please share it, subscribe. We're brand new, but we're really wanting to leave a big impact on people right now, especially with everything that's happened here in 2020, and just inspiring you and equipping you as salespeople, business owners, entrepreneurs, and heck, humanity to live your best life. So thank you again, Jess, for being here today, and I look forward to our next episode. Again, this has been Lois Kofi on Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. Until next time, here's to your health, your wealth, and your wisdom. Bye-bye for now.